Hello everyone, and welcome to another Minecraft update video. It's Snapshot 22W17A, and yes, I am an Alex. The reason why? I think the Minecraft skin servers might have some problems. And this snapshot might have some other issues too, because I've got an item here that I can't remove. But that item is the goat horn, and there are 8 different types of these that have been added in this snapshot, and if you followed my coverage of Bedrock Edition, you'll know that they've been added as an experimental feature over there, and I think this means that they are no longer experimental. So each of these has a different name. The first 4 are from regular goats, and the second 4 are from screaming goats. And now we're going to quickly listen to all the sounds that they make. And so you probably spotted it, but it has a cooldown, so when you use it you can't spam and use it again straight away. So how do you obtain the goat horn? Well, the goat has to decide to do one of its rare ram attacks on a naturally generating block, which is something that I didn't realise when I first started to conduct some tests. So after leaving this running for quite some time, I have learned absolutely nothing, because all of these blocks in the middle have been placed by me, the player. Yes, I wish I'd been paying a little more attention. The goat horn drops when a goat rams a block that occurs naturally. The website also states that each horn has its own sound based on the goat that it originates from. And I've had it confirmed from a friend that this is just code for random, as inside the game code it does indeed drop them randomly. So my next experiment was to spawn a ridiculous amount of goats inside of a forest and fly around in the hopes of finding a goat horn that had dropped. And I didn't actually find any until I thought of using this command, which teleports all the items in the area to me, the player. And look at that, there's another 2 of these now. And there are a lot of goats here, so it's going to be a very rare event. Now the goat can use its ram attack on a player that's in a survival mode, and if you've got the patience for that, you could be standing in front of one of these blocks and then get out of the way. But of course it'd have to be a naturally generated one, and maybe we'll end up doing something like this. Leashing a goat into an enclosed area and waiting for it to attack the block, as you saw it can do a moment ago. But there is another place you can obtain these horns from, and that is the Pillager Outpost. They have a chest at the top of the structure, and in the loot table there is a chance to get your hands on a goat horn. And if you're wondering what the point of the goat horn is, you can hear these from far away. So it could be a way to communicate with a player that's off in the distance. And if you've been following my coverage of these Bedrock betas and snapshots, you may remember there were also copper horns added at 1.2. Sadly, they are not in this snapshot, but who knows, maybe we'll see them next week. And before we go any further with this video, I've noticed that a lot of people watching are not actually subscribed. If you've watched like a couple of these snapshot videos and you want to catch more in the future, then you know what to do. So thanks for hitting that subscribe button, and let's crack on with the video. So you might just remember that the Warden has a new Sonic Boom attack, which we just saw right there. It's now found another target, and it's going to do this attack multiple times, and you'll notice that it's attacking more frequently. This is because some changes have been made. The attack cooldown used to be 5 seconds, now it's only going to be 2. And the attack damage it does has been reduced by 2/3, so it used to do 30 damage, now the attack only does 10. But there's a catch. The attack will no longer be blockable by a shield, and it will also bypass any armor, so armor can't protect you from this attack. It's going to be raw damage to your hearts. Now the player has 10 hearts, which is 20 hit points, meaning that 2 of these attacks should kill me even if I'm fully geared up with armor. So here we go, attack number 1. You can see that I lost half of my health. And I guess I regen a little bit too, don't I? And there comes the second attack. And here's the third, and I'm dead. And there's a new death message. Xisuma was obliterated by a sonically charged shriek. And one final change to the Warden, it now drops an item. The moment that you've all been waiting for. But I warn you, it's rather anticlimactic. it drops a Skulk Catalyst. That's it. That's all you get for killing the Warden. And of course the point isn't to actually kill the Warden, but you know the technical Minecraft community loves to farm anything, and so if they farm the Warden, I guess they have a renewable source of Skulk Catalysts. Because the current way to get your hands on a whole bunch of these is to go exploring, so this would technically make them a renewable resource. And over on Twitter, King Bdogs has highlighted this thinking, pointing out that this change was only made for renewability with farm and tech players. But what do you think? Is the Skulk Catalyst a good drop? Should it drop nothing at all? I personally think Record Disc number 5 would be a satisfying drop. However, I get the point of the Warden isn't really to actually fight and kill it. There are also a couple of changes to the Allay that don't really feel quite right in this snapshot. So connecting an Allay to a note block, let's just give this one an item, is supposed to be better visualized by the particles. The thing is, I can see them whizzing over there, but they're not very big, and if anything, I feel like they were a bit more distinctive in previous snapshots. Something there needs to be improved, that's for sure. The other change says that you can stop the connection to the note block with wall blocks again, but when I put one on top, they still remember that this note block is the one that they're after, and they'll forget after 30 seconds, and you can't reactivate it, but I'm not fully sure what they're getting at there. Next up on the website, we have a big change for player safety. We have multiplayer secure chat signing. And there is some technical information here. Chat messages between players are now cryptographically signed. And so players will be given a Mojang provided key pair on the startup of the game. And this is something that you can enforce in the server.properties file. Now, to break it down as I understand it, when you launch the game from the launcher, that's when you're going to get one of these keys. And then when you log into a server to play, you'll be able to chat with other players on that server. And the reasoning for this change is that it stops third-party applications, things like spam bots, simply running some code to connect to a server, not even using the Minecraft game, and spamming messages. So to me, it sounds like an all-around decent change. And not quite related to this snapshot, in the recent Secrets of Minecraft video, we got to see some concept art related to the frogs and how they were designed, which was really cool to see. If you want to watch the video, there'll be a link down below. And there were lots of bug fixes in this snapshot, which is usually a sign that we're getting closer to a release. These were mostly related to Z fighting issues with textures and texture refinement, and there was one thing that caught my eye. For the longest time, ore drops had not been dropping XP when they get blown up with TNT, which is something they should do. And there it is, the TNT drops as well as the diamonds. And this was probably related to a bug fix to the Skulk block for the same thing, so when they're blown up with TNT, they are dropping XP. And I also noticed in the patch logs that soul soil and mud couldn't be converted to Skulk when something dies, which they now can. And that brings us to the end of this snapshot video, so leave a like if you enjoyed it. Thanks for supporting the channel by doing that. Also want to say a big thank you to Missode, who has been helping me with some of the details in this snapshot, making this video much more informative. So thank you, my friend, and hopefully I'll see you all next week for another snapshot. Bye bye.